Hello again, everyone. I have a newer fountain pen to share with you today. This is one that I actually got a little while ago. I've been writing with it here and there, and I wanted to share it with you because I think there are really some great things about this pen, and I also think it has a few downsides. The one being the most notable, which I'll show you. So this is by Y Studio, and I don't have any of their brass pen models, but those have been really popular. And fairly recently, they came out with this resin pen version, and it's a beautiful red color. It comes in red and a black and maybe something else. I can't remember, but the red is beautiful, and it has this little gold logo for Y Studio. It's a pull cap, and then when you open it up, it has a really beautiful size 5 gold nib. It's not gold. It's it's a stainless steel nib, but it's colored gold. And it is a Schmidt nib, which I think I've said on the channel before is one of my favorite brands of just sort of generic nibs. The Schmidt nibs also come on Bennu pens, and when I found out that this one had a Schmidt nib, I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and try it. I went ahead and got a medium nib, and I'm going to do a writing sample for you today, and you'll see as I go through what my biggest issue is. So there's a little gold accent, flat, round accent on the bottom and on the top, which is kind of nice. Like I said, it's a pull cap, and it does have an inner cap inside this. How many sides is that? Is this a hexagon, 6-sided? And so this is my main problem. It said when I purchased it that it would post securely. That's not secure, folks. And unposted, it seems a little light to me, but posted, the balance is about perfect for me. But it, even if it's not going to fall off, it feels very insecure, like it rattles around a little bit on the end and is very loose, obviously. So I would prefer if this was a little bit more tight when posted to the back of the pen. I wonder partially if they didn't want this scratching itself by posting back here and scratching the resin, but I do wish that it was just a little bit tighter. So this is another issue that I had with this pen. It did not come with a converter, and it does not accept just your run-of-the-mill standard converter. This is a standard converter, but it is a special size. It is a Kaweco converter for their converter pens that are somewhat normal size, but it is narrower here, and it just barely fits in there. If you were to fit a different kind of converter that was a little bit wider, it would not fit in this pen. And you can, of course, use this with cartridges, but I am not much of a cartridge fan. I do have some cartridges that I use for pens that either just cannot have a converter or various reasons, but it's not my preferred method of filling a pen. I prefer a converter, and this converter did not come with the pen. Like I said, it's a Kaweco branded converter, which is narrower, and it catches a little bit on this piece. And with a normal converter, this little piece here is even wider, which is why it would not work. So after I purchased this, I was looking at some reviews, and they were saying that it did not come with a converter, and they were talking about the issues with the converter not being a standard converter. So I knew this before I got it, but after I ordered it, I think I knew it didn't come with a converter, but I didn't know that I would have to get a special converter for it. So Kaweco makes these more narrow converters, and I think there might be another brand or two, but this is the only one that I know for sure will fit in here because it's the one that I have and that does fit into my pen. So that was a little bit of an annoyance as well. So it's already got like 2 strikes against it, right? Cap doesn't really post because it's just going to fall right off, and the converter has to be special ordered, basically. The Kaweco converter is also a little bit more expensive than you could get just the standard converters. You can probably find it cheaper here and there. I think I got mine from Amazon. I buy a lot of fountain pen stuff from Amazon. but it was still, you can get a generic standard size converter pretty cheaply. But other than those two things, which, once the converter's in the pen, that's not really a bother. The posting is still an issue, but the pen itself actually feels quite nice. I like the feel of the resin. It's very nice and has a matte feel, but it's also still very comfortable. It does have a metal grip, so if you are not a fan of metal grips, this might not be your pen. It is a little narrow when you hold it, but I feel like the grip section is pretty comfortable. Part of the reason why I also feel like this pen feels a little small without the cap is because it does have such a small nib on the end. I've been leaving this open, so I want to make sure that it still works before I do a writing sample for you. So yeah, I think that if the cap posted securely, I wouldn't really have any complaints about this pen. The converter issue, you get the converter you need and that problem is solved. But capping the pen, that's never going to be resolved. It's never going to all of a sudden become a tight cap on the back of your pen to post it. And I do feel like the balance would be best if this was posted. It just feels so flimsy when it's on there because like I said, even if it'll stay, it wiggles around while you write and is distracting, and I feel like it's kind of insecure because it doesn't post very deeply either. It posts to about here, and I wish it posted a little more deeply and actually fit on the back. But anyway, I'll stop harping about that, and I will do the writing sample. So this is the Y Studio resin pen in red with a medium nib. And then the ink I have in here is Robert Oster Soda Pop Blue. And there's no line variation with the nib, which is not what I was expecting. However, these Schmidt nibs are a little springy, so you can get a little bit of line variation, as you can see there. And then I'm just going to do the quick brown fox. Okay. And the writing experience is just okay. I mean, I already have plenty of Schmidt nibs in my Benu pens, so this isn't really adding anything new to the party. Like I said, if the problems I identified when I got this had been resolved, I would think that this was an amazing pen that would be really useful for everyday writing. It doesn't have a clip, although given the hexagonal shape, I'm wondering if there is a clip out there that might fit on this. Maybe a Kaweco clip or something, and then at least I could clip the cap to something, while I'm writing. That's the other thing, because that's one of my main pet peeves about pens that don't post is I can potentially lose the cap. So if this is not gonna go with me anywhere. This is not gonna be a traveling pen because I will lose the cap. I will lose the cap, and I'll lose it while I'm writing with it, and then it'll just be an example in frustration. And then what do I do with this pen? But I think for at-home use, it's fine. But quite honestly, I have not been reaching for it that often. But if you like a thinner pen, okay, let's focus on the positive here. So if you like a thinner pen, and the resin feel is very nice, and it's not super duper heavy, but it's not super duper light either. It's kind of a perfect weight for a smaller pen. It actually looks quite sleek. I like this red color. The nib is actually a pretty solid nib with the Schmidt nib. If you don't have other pens that have a Schmidt nib, I would say go for it. Just know that you're going to need to buy, if you want to use a converter, you're going to have to buy a converter, and it's going to have to be a thinner converter than your standard size. And I think that about covers it. But sort of a mixed review. I think this pen is just okay. It's not one of my I got this pen and I fell in love with it pens. And it doesn't have anything like super special going on with it, like say a Bennu Parrot pen that would make me sing its praises. But it's a perfectly good pen. Let's say that. And you know, most pens I get, I really love, and I should consider myself lucky. But this is one that I'm just okay with. Whether I'll keep it long term, I don't know. It's really popular, so it's sold out right away when it came on Jet Pens. Is that where I got this? I can't remember if I got it on Jet Pens or if I got it somewhere else, but it was really popular and sold out almost immediately. So I think there's probably someone who will want it if I don't end up keeping it, but it's still up in the air. But that's all I had for you today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below. Feel free to like if you enjoyed this video, and I would really love it if you'd subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.